Let's go to the Gambia, where the incumbent president, Adama Barrow, has comfortably won a second term in the presidential election, with thousands of supporters celebrating and opponents disputing the results. Mr. Barrow garnered 53% of the vote, according to the result released by the Electoral Commission late on Sunday. His main challenger, Hussaini Daboe, won 27.7%. Crowds of Barrow supporters marched through the streets of the capital, Banjul, to a din of horns and danced on the vast esplanade. Mr. Barrow received a standing ovation when he addressed them, urging his supporters to respect those who voted for his opponents in what he termed a free, fair and transparent election. Let's join African Affairs Analyst Ademola Oshodi for more on the outcome of the Gambia presidential election. Thank you so much for joining us on The World Now. Easy victory. That's how the news has described the Gambia's president, Adama Barrow's re-election. What's been your general observation of the whole process?
Well, it's nothing that it doesn't actually come across as easy. The results look convincing, but you need to think about what led towards the election. The tension in the country, the inconclusive nature of Gambian elections of the past, and obviously the former president's legacy or reputation looming over the election and the threat of violence. Violence and issues of elections in Africa are never easy. But the results was definitely very convincing for the president.
Well, in the last election, Mr. Barrow defeated former President Yahya Jammeh, who was forced into exile after refusing to accept the results. Despite his exile in Equatorial Guinea, Mr. Jammeh remains an influential figure. Do you see this vote as a test for Gambia's democracy?
Oh, absolutely. It is a test for Gambia's democracy after 27 years of President Jammeh that was disgraced out of power, I think in 2016. So this is good. It's not just for Gambia, but also for West Africa. You take note that there have been recent coups in West Africa. There's Guinea, there's 2 coups in Mali, there's a coup in Chad, and there's also been crises in Burkina Faso and the test of democracy in Côte d'Ivoire, where the president has run for a 3rd term, President Ouattara, and the opposition boycotted the election, giving the president 95% of the vote. So there's tension there. So it is good for West Africa, the fact that Gambia, an English-speaking country, can put off a really good, smooth, violent-free election. It's a test for democracy in all of Africa as we go through COVID and the economic, implications of COVID and the economic crisis, especially with the issues of the Sahara issues of the terrorists, in the Sahara region of West Africa. So this is a positive news for democracy in Gambia and especially in West Africa.
Right, makes sense. Mr. Barrow is a successful property developer who once worked as a security guard in London. But illiteracy is high in the Gambia, and her economy has struggled to recover from the impact of COVID-19. What challenges is the re-elected president likely to face in the coming years of his administration?
Well, first of all, I don't know why they keep referring to him as he works as a security guard in the UK. I mean, that is rather irrelevant. But the economic challenges in Gambia really is dire. COVID again has really created havoc around the world, not just in West Africa, not just in Gambia. It's important that your viewers understand the issues of climate change and how it's affecting Gambia, the hurdles there, and issues of deforestation, etc. But Gambia is pulling through. The issues of tourism. Tourists cannot come to Gambia because of COVID. A lot of Westerners, especially Europeans, come to the beaches of Gambia and enjoy their vacation. They can't do that anymore. Gambia depends a lot on tourism. It depends a lot on export of peanuts and fish. All these things has affected the economy. But the fact that it can pull off a successful electoral process is really, really encouraging for the people there. And it's only going to bring more economic stability and hope for the population there.
Well, what would you say about the rivals who are disputing the election results, who are saying, no, we are not going to accept these election results? Is that going to lead to further court cases, tribunals disputing the election?
Well, I think it's a bargain too. They know, and the international community, observers, independent people know the election was generally free and fair. I mean, exceptionally good for African standard. I think the opposition are trying to bargain. Hopefully, maybe they can get seats in the cabinet. Have a national government whereby opposition are given seats in strategic places in the government, just to ensure that the winner doesn't take all. But I really don't believe they have much leg to stand on. The election was free and fair, and it's tremendous progress for that small African country.
Yeah, before I let you go, looking at the Gambia election, the just concluded Gambia election, how far would you say African countries, are growing in terms of conducting elections, particularly free and fair elections?
Well, first of all, we need to have a civilian democratic government in place. I mentioned the fact that we've had 4 coups in West Africa in about a year or so, 2 in Mali, 1 in Guinea, 1 in Chad. We've had crisis in Cote d'Ivoire, where President Oshodi came back for a 3rd term with the opposition boycotting the election. We've had crisis in Burkina Faso, where the crisis of the fundamentalist herders are having problems with the French troops intervening to bring peace. So we need to get a civilian government in place, a democratic government in place, and this is a good step for West Africa. But we believe that especially English-speaking parts of West Africa are doing exceptionally well regarding democracy compared to the French-speaking part, if you take note. But this is a good step. It would also influence its neighbors. Senegal is having elections very soon. Guinea has promised to have elections. They will see what happened in Gambia, and hopefully this will be an encouraging thing for them, and also put pressure on the military to step down and have the people choose their government.
Let's wish the new Gambia's president, Adama Barrow, successful governance in the Gambia. African Affairs Analyst Ademola Oshodi, thank you so much for our insight.
Thank you.